there is energy. By all that we see and understand, there exists an enormous quantity of energy. In supposition, I would deduce that this energy, if conscious and sentient, and alone, could annihilate itself, and produce this tripartite hollow spherical emanation from destruction. God has encoded within his own destruction the ability for sentient humans to play out the drama of his energy becoming reconstituted from the resulting implosion, distilling out the remainder of the quotient through the division of betrayal. God made a decision to rearrange his energy, to separate himself from himself, and create the construct for matter to exist via his energy left in the void. His Son is his seed, his fail-safe, his hero, his lamb, his code, to reconcile all things, except for the counterforce betrayal of Lucifer. Lucifer embodies envy and vanity, which exists when there are multiple consciousnesses. In the process of creating multiple sentient beings, this counterforce betrayal has to be played out as a proof of the what-if notion of Lucifer, who possessed the sum full of wisdom and beauty. The code for the betrayal of God who creates acts as the means for God to annihilate himself, while simultaneously being fully explained by the defining of betrayal and deceptive envy. Human entities act as the vessels to legally and lawfully express the matter of integration and disintegration, allegiance and betrayal. Imagine Obi-Wan Kenobi turning off his lightsaber and allowing Darth Vader to strike him down. What did Obi-Wan say at that moment? "If you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can imagine." Our perspective is based on the outward perception, and the God perspective is based on the grand plan, which the source of creation has originally performed, and requires a proof of, in each of us. The understanding and performance of the sacrificial hero drama, which must be our path of intent and action through our journey on this proof test. The morality question is not one of just blind allegiance. If anyone wants to know who Christ Jesus really is, judge your own self harshly by the standard which he left for us to follow, one of suffering and betrayal. Remain gracious, with loving kindness, which leaves you, the sentient entity, without blame in the matter. It is up to each of us to act as Christ Jesus, doing good in word and deed, until the righteous judge returns, as the conquering hero, to take his position of authority in the drama, and examine each of us, for whether we have served his purpose, or that of the enemy, who is that remainder of the equation of the code, which the creator of this geometry utilized to recreate himself in many forms. The explanation of the matter is resolved by the codification of mutual existence. God is debugging the code. Who would actually desire to be the data error, which must be eliminated, for the code to work correctly? You must be ready to die at every second, for the will of God. It must needs be that the distortion of the original masterpiece must involve everyone's frictional loss, as not only a result of the distortion, but as a means to the correction of the distortion. Christ being he who has overcome Lucifer, who executed his will to distort. So the pebble of iniquity, which casts itself into the stillness of God's truth, can only succeed in disrupting that which must be disrupted, so that no such disruption can occur again. Outside the center of union, the negative region promotes an infinite loop of division, the which the source denotes. Substance and form from fragments give rise to periodic waves, from which perception is sculpted. Relative distances at once portrayed, to which this bilateral body, being betwixt two opposite degrees, looks inward and outward, paying particular attention to precise patterns we see, assuming that form follows function. Particulate energies defined discrete. The negation of the negation. Within us, the cycle is complete. Our willingness to be distorted by others' will allows us to be part of the correction of the distortion. Our allegiance with the one who distorts is a separation request.